to the next edition of The Tonight Show with the Tigresses. Today, I've got a brilliant guest with me. It's Sinead Peach. Sinead, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Sinead, you are sponsored, of course, by Playfair Garage, and also your new sponsors, Simpsons Container Sales. But before we start the show, we also have to thank some of our other sponsors, our shirt sponsors for the 2021 season. Let's begin with Hillside Childcare, the GMB Union, B&J Goldings, Track Spider Solutions, D&M Family Butchers, Anthony Higgins Transport, Yorkshire Flight Simulator, Pizza Prima, SP Paving, Castle Commercial Cleaning Services, Mara Falcons, and the Castleford Tigers Foundation. Hopefully, we can get the season underway pretty quickly, and we can really give our sponsors a hand after a really tough 12 months. Right, Sinead, let's get into the show. First of all, how are you doing? How is training going at home, and how are you preparing for this 2021 season?
Yeah, it's going really well, to be honest. I'm lucky enough to have a dad like mine who's made a gym at his work, set a treadmill up and some weights and stuff. So that's going well. And obviously Lindsay and all the coaching staff make sessions for us to do. So it's really good. The group chat's always popping with everybody doing the stuff, which is good for motivation. So it's going well.
I wanted to ask you about contact training, because it's obviously been over 12 months since we played competitive rugby. You'll be different because obviously you're training with England, but for a lot of the girls, they will not have any contact training for many, many months. And I think we're going to have about 6-7 weeks of training before the season starts. Are you a bit concerned about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously really difficult for the girls who haven't done the contact and not lifting weights as well. Proper weights, going to a gym and lifting heavy. It's going to be difficult, but I'm sure in that 6-week period that we have before the pre-season, we'll jam pack it with a load of contact and heavy weights to get us started and ready for the start of the season.
For a lot of people, rugby league is very much part of your life, and obviously we haven't had any games since a friendly with York back in March of last year. How excited are you that the season could potentially begin in April?
Oh, I'm buzzing. I can't actually remember the last time we played. Everybody's really hungry to start up again. So fingers crossed it starts up in April when it's meant to.
And without rugby league, every Sunday, what have you been getting up to these past 12 months? What have you replaced rugby league with?
Rugby league still. Linda's still set us up with training each weekend that we've got to complete. So each morning it's just like waking up and going to Castle wherever we're playing and getting a training session in and going on walks. That's all you can do at the moment. There's nothing else to do. So seeing a lot of the countryside.
I think that's a brilliant way of going about things. I think a lot of people have taken up walking over the past 12 months. Have you picked up any interesting hobbies or anything like that over the past 12 months?
No, even though I am going to purchase some walking boots because of all the walking we're doing. But no, not really. My life's still been pretty normal because I'm still working. So it's just on a weekend trying to find some time to do something. So.
And if I'm right, if my memory serves me right, you're still working for Playfair Garage, your sponsors?
I am, yeah. Yeah, it's my dad's business. So yeah, still working there in the reception.
What is he like as a boss, your dad?
Oh, it's interesting. You'd have to come for a day. It'd be an insight, but no, he's lovely. My dad is. It's a bit stressful sometimes, but I wouldn't have him any other way.
I can see behind you. Yeah. I was just going to say, I can see behind you, you've got a fantastic setup, a lot of rugby league memorabilia. I can see your shirt as well. I mean, tell us about that. It looks like a beautiful little bar you've got there behind you.
A little tour, 1 second. I'll spin you around. I'll spin this round. Oh, I can't, right. So this is the Peach bar my dad's done in the lockdown. A lot of rugby memorabilia, cast shirts up there, and that's all. Can you see that? That one's all my cast memorabilia up there.
Yeah, that's brilliant, is that? Yeah.
Yeah. My dad's pride and joy, this bar.
So,
he's told me to be over this interview so I can come back in. I'll keep them out for now.
So Sinead, I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about your rugby league story. Tell us where you started playing, where you fell in love with the game, and tell us about how you progressed to become a player at Castleford Tigers.
Yeah, so I've obviously I started from my dad coaching. My uncles played, all my cousins played down at Hunset Warriors. So I always went down there. I was the water girl for all the men's team, and I wanted to start a girls' team down there. So my mum and dad really helped to fund it for me. Got a kit, got a team together, and started off down there. And then I think it wasn't until I was 17 when I went open age, and a girl came down to Warriors and said, "Oh, you should go to Featherstone Rovers and play in the open age." And I was right, I didn't know whether I wanted to or not, but Dad were like, "Come on, let's just go and try it out." So I went to Fev and met Brenda Dobek. She was my first coach there. And I loved it. Didn't look back. Obviously, my best mate, Jasmine, she was there. So I clicked straight away with her, and Jazz Bell and Grace. So, I loved it and never looked back.
Can you tell us about your time at Featherstone Rovers? Because obviously Featherstone were a powerhouse of women's rugby at the time. Must have been a great play for a team like that. Yeah,
it really was. And when we do the 13 later, you'll see quite a few names from that type of team. Learned a lot from them all. They really got a lot of knowledge in that team. A lot of them played for England, and I learned a lot from them girls. Probably made me the player I am today from starting off young with them.
Am I right in thinking that your dad took over coaching for a little while at Featherstone while you were there?
Yeah. For my second season, Brenda asked if Dad would help out, just a little change in the how we played at Fev. Just wanted to change it up a little bit, so Dad stepped in to help out, and he loved it too. He always came to training sessions and watched us train, so he might as well have just helped out. So yeah, he loved it, and the girls loved him as well. So.
Did you enjoy playing under him?
Yeah, I do. To be fair, I'll huff and puff about it, but he's one of the greatest coaches ever. And I'm not just saying that because he's my dad, but he's got great knowledge in the game. So it were ace just doing something we both love together.
And tell us then, how did that move to Castleford come about? Right when you finished playing at Fev and move over to Cass, how did that transition happen?
Interesting. I can't really remember. My best mate Jasmine played there, and I remember when Cass first came about as like the Super League team that were there, I got asked if I wanted to go try it out, and I went to the meeting and I just didn't think it was for me, so I stayed with Fev for that next season. And then after, I just thought, oh, let's have a change and try it out there. And Lindsay had coached me at England students, and I knew how good of a coach she was, so I thought might as well just go and try it over there. So I did, and I've never looked back.
So you knew Lindsay Anfield before, obviously, you came to Castleford?
Yeah, so we did England students for 2 years, and she was the coach both years. We went to Hungary with her on tour, and then we had the next year we're just over here, so we're really good.
One of the things I wanted to bring up, and I'm sorry to do this, but I had a look at some of your playing statistics, and I realized that when you played at Featherstone, you were involved in a grand final. But eventually Featherstone lost that game. Then obviously Castleford Challenge Cup final 2018, again losing that final. And then obviously 2019 Challenge Cup final and grand final didn't go your way. How desperate are you to change that? And how does it feel to have gone through so many heartbreaking defeats?
Yeah, been so close so many times. I know I'm smiling about it now, but I hate that I've been probably involved in all them grand finals and come short on every single one of them. Hopefully this season coming, I can finally be involved in one and lift the trophy. It's obviously not a nice feeling, and it's definitely not nice watching the other team lift it. And yeah, it's not memories I like to think about, actually.
But I guess on the other hand, you're still a very, very young player, and for you to have been involved in so many finals, I'm guessing it just sets up a platform for you to go in and win those, in the next few years.
Yeah, definitely. It gives me the experience, and obviously each year it has been a grand final. It's got more and more publicity, so it's good being involved in all the setup, and it's only experience for me. So hopefully this year we can get there and lift the cup.
Does it have an impact, from a psychological point of view when you enter a final now? Does it play on your mind?
Not really, to be fair. not really. For some players, it probably does, but no. I mean, I think in the lead up when it's all the publicity and everything, and you get asked them questions like, obviously, you interviewing me today, you get asked it, but I try and block that out of my mind and just focus on the task in hand and that game, and don't try and get any, sidelines from the other grand finals.
I think 2019, I don't want to speak, on your behalf, but I think 2019 was a pretty big season for yourself, reaching 2 big finals and lifting the League Leaders Shield. How do you look back on that? And obviously you went to Papua New Guinea and played in the World Nines as well. It must have been a huge year for you.
Yeah, it really was. It was. Lifting the League Leaders Shield, it's a great achievement for us to have at CAS. Obviously falling short on both of the finals is disappointing. And that is kind of the thing that sticks with us at CAS. And that's the thing that we look back on all the time to try and improve on. But for me, as an individual, I thought my season last year I was happy with it. Obviously just fell short at the finals, and that's something that we can rectify this year with everyone.
And I think the platform of the women's game has, skyrocketed in 2019. What did you make of it with, increased amount of people watching the game in the stands, more press coverage, the grand final being on Sky Sports? It's booming, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing to think when I was 16 playing at Warriors and now where it is, and you're thinking, you're getting interviews after the game, before the game, everybody that's coming and seeing people that know you, that you're thinking, how do you know me? And they're asking for signatures. It's amazing to see where the game's at now. It really is. And it's so good for the girls.
Are you a little bit worried by the amount of media coverage? I know that some of the players are not really keen on, all the interviews and things like that. And perhaps they find it a little bit, daunting because they've never had it. And all of a sudden, everybody wants an interview. Everybody wants, Do you find it a little bit daunting?
Yeah, I mean, when you see me at CAS, I'll chat to everyone. I'm like, I talk to everyone. Put a camera in front of my face, and I'm this shy girl. I'll try running away from you, Seb. I don't really like doing interviews, but it's something that the girls are going to have to learn to do with now. The sport's progressing and media's, getting bigger. So it's only something that the girls are going to have to learn, and, practice makes perfect, doesn't it?
I wanted to take you back to that 2019 grand final just one final time. There was an incident there where I think there was some an incident where sort of a bump appeared on your forehead. I think it was a hematoma, and everybody started talking about, look at this girl. She's got this on her, and she's still playing. She's still on the pitch. I mean, what did you make of the reaction to that? Did you know about it afterwards?
Yeah, but I couldn't believe it after that game, and the day after, my phone was nearly crashing. I thought, what the hell? I've never had this many notifications. No, I mean, the love went down straight away. Joe put a thing around my head and that went down. But the media after that, I couldn't actually believe it. It was a bit overwhelming.
No, I think it's the warrior sort of, mindset, because I was watching the rugby union earlier today, and there was a player from one of the teams wearing gloves, today, because it was a bit cold, and you're out there playing with a big bump on your head, like a true warrior. So I think people respect that. So we can move on to some of the fan questions now, if that's okay with you. We've had some fans get in touch, and let's kick off with one from Matt Heaton, obviously our new SNC coach. He always comes up with great questions, and he asks, what do you enjoy about playing for CAS?
Good question. I love everything about playing for CAS. All my best friends play there. It's a great atmosphere to be around. Love the coaches. Love the sessions that are put out by the coaches. They're always intense and always changing. It's not the same routine all the time. So it's just a great atmosphere to be around, and to play with your best mates. It's just great, isn't it?
Certainly is. We got another one from Instagram asking whether you have any nicknames in the team.
Nicknames? Yeah, I get called Peachy. I can't really think of any others. Yeah, probably just Peachy.
We had another one asking whether you are related at all to Lewis Peachy from Castleford Tigers.
No, I'm not related to him.
Different spelling.
Yeah.
We got another one of actually all the questions from Instagram. One of them asking, is it true that your sister is a famous model?
I wouldn't say famous, even though she'd probably like that. But she's an influencer on Instagram, and yeah, a beautiful model.
Doesn't she have, was it 50,000 followers or something like that?
I don't keep track of her followers, but I know she has a fair few.
Right, Sinead, let's get into your 1 to 13. Now, I just want to clarify something. There was a few comments when we put out Claire Garner's 1 to 13. Some people thought it was like 1 to 13, that her best place she's ever played with, but it's not. It's to do with position. So we're going from fullback to loose forward, and that's what we're going to do with you, Sinead. Tell us, who are we kicking off with? Who is your fullback?
So my fullback is Tara Stanley. Play with her at Cass and obviously at England. I chose her because she's great under a high ball, and defensively she's never misses really, does she? Anyone can run at her and she's safe as houses, so she's my fullback.
Moving on, who are your two wingers?
So my two wingers are Kelsey Gentles and Kaylee Bullman. Do you want me to say why?
Yeah, just a few words why you decided to pick them, yeah.
Sorry. So Kelsey, she wears a heart on her sleeve, doesn't she? She's my bestie. She gets you out of danger, out of red zone. So yeah, she'd be my winger every day. And Kaylee, played with her at Featherstone early in my career. She took me under her wing. She's a great finisher, really fast, really speedy. So she's my second winger.
What about the two centres?
So my two centres will be Amy Hardcastle and Nat Gilmore. Amy played with her at Yorkshire and England. She's just unstoppable, really, isn't she? She's strong, she's tough, she's great to have in centre. And Nat Gilmore, again, I played with her at Featherstone early in my career, and she's just a legend, isn't she? She's knowledgeable, she's a great leader, and she's an all-rounder, really. She can play in centre, she can play half. She's just great to have on your team.
Moving on, who's your number 6 and number 7?
So my number 6 is Gemma Walsh, and number 7 is Kirsty Maroney. Gemma, she's got a great rugby brain, a great leader to have on your team, and she's just someone that you'd always want on your side. You wouldn't want to run at her. Kirsty, she's a great boss again. I've played with her at England, but I've played against her a lot of times when she played for Bradford, and she's just always a real handful. So she's again someone that I would have on my team.
And moving on, who is your dummy half?
Dummy half for me would be Lois Purcell. She's a great role model, great player. She's going to be a massive miss to the game through her injury. But now she's obviously taking up the coaching role, which I wish her all the best in. So
Sinead, who are your two props?
So my two props would be Andrea Dobson and Ree Marshall. Andy's probably the best player I've played with. Started off with her at Fev. She's a great leader, great person to have on your side, a massive hitter in the game. She'd be first one on my team sheet all day.
And obviously Rhiannon Marshall, the other?
Ree Marshall, yeah, she's got great ability, really good ball handler, and she's a great asset to have on your team as well.
Brilliant. 2 second rowers then, Sinead?
So my 2 second rowers would be Shona Hoyle and Nat Harrowell. Shona, obviously, she's biased at Cass. She's a workhorse, really. She'd take a settler, take a run any day. Massive player. She's great to have on your team. And Nat Harrowell, obviously, played with her at Featherstone. Again, she's similar to Shona, massive workhorse. They're really similar players, really tough. Obviously, sadly passed away. Really upsetting, to be fair. She was one of my really good mates, and I miss her a lot.
And lastly, your loose forward, Sinead, number 13.
My loose forward is Emily Rudge. She's the captain at England as well, and played with her at Featherstone. Luckily, played against her there. She early in my career again, and she's just great to have on your team. I remember when I first played with Emily, and she just started shouting and, to motivate you all before team. And I thought, wow, like I was buzzing to walk out. Like, she's great to have on your team.
That's it. That's your 1 to 13, Sinead. I tell you what, that is a really, really good team. And hopefully We'll be back, I don't know, maybe in a couple of years' time, see if that changes, because obviously a lot of young players coming up, so that'll be interesting to see. One last thing, Sinead, before we finish, your expectations, your goals, your ambitions for 2021. What are Cass going to achieve? What are you going to achieve personally as well?
So my goals would be to win a final this year, defend the League Leaders Shield, and just all round have a positive season. Yeah.
Perfect, Sinead. Thank you very much for that flawless interview. I'm looking forward to April, where hopefully things are going to get underway. Obviously, we can't say for certain, but hopefully things go well. April will be the month where we kick things off, if not maybe a bit later. But I think as long as we get things underway, that's the main thing. Thank you very much, Sinead, for joining me today, and hopefully see you soon at the Jungle.
Yep. See you soon.